Welcome to the Secret Math of Money. This show is meant for entertainment purposes only. I hold no financial certifications or information that is not generally available. No guarantees are stated or implied. It is your money, and you are responsible for any decisions you make regarding it.
Well, hello, everybody. Today is Saturday, March 23rd, 2019, and this is The Secret Math of Money, the show that covers those things you should have learned in high school, but you didn't because they didn't teach us. Welcome, everybody. I know it's been a minute since I've been here, but I had some stuff to do. And as a result of that, that's why we're doing this show today, and it's called Junk Drawer, because I got a lot of stuff that I thought about and wanted to talk about, but I just want to bring it all up at once. So right now, we're going to start with Junk Drawer. Again, if you got any questions, you can ask them right here live on Facebook Live. Or if you want to call in with a question, you can call me at 215-383-3861. And if the show is over and you got a money question, you can hit me on Facebook anytime, and I'll try to answer the question on my next show. Caveat up front, I am not a financial planner. I am just a guy with a degree in accounting and finance, with degrees in accounting and finance, and so we talk about money. On that note, I had a conversation with a friend of mine real quick, and here's the thing. Like I say, I have an undergrad degree in accounting and a graduate degree in finance, and the crazy part about it is nobody ever showed me how to balance a checkbook. None of my degrees, none of my classes ever covered that thing. I don't know if they cover it now in college, but they never covered those basics of money. That's one of the reasons I do this show, because we are not learning about our money. So with that said, everybody, let's get to the show. The first topic on Junk Drawer, I got about 4 of them I want to cover. The first one is the government shutdown. Okay. A lot of people got hit by that. You heard, we saw people, government was shut down for 33 days, and there were people losing their minds. There were people that were suddenly, Julie Harris, you learned it in high school. Hey, good. You probably came to high school many years after I did. But anyway, the government shut down for 33 days. And as you saw, a lot of people were losing their mind. And the question that I was asking myself during that time, thank God I'm not a government employee. Shout outs to all of you who are. Few months before that, we had Black Friday. And I was wondering how many those government employees who were impacted by that and were freaking out basically because they didn't have a check coming in for a month. But we're out there on Black Friday morning buying a lot of stuff. Now, I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not trying to apply blame, because nobody knew that government shutdown was coming. But a more serious question is, if you do not have enough money to last a month without a paycheck, then on Black Friday should be just Friday to you. And you should not be out there trying to max out your credit cards and everything else. See, I learned a long time ago, one thing people do on Black Friday is they buy the stuff on Black Friday on credit cards, because they won't get the bill till the end of the next month. They won't get their bill till December, and they may not have to pay it till January, when they'll get their bonus and they'll pay it. If that's how you're working your finances, you got a problem. We should not. Again, if you do not have at least a month, then come Black Friday, I know you want to do all this for your kids and this and that. Don't do it, because that's the kind of cycle we get caught in. And we get out there and we start spending all this money on things that we don't have. We don't have a rainy day fund. We don't have an emergency fund. We call it a rainy day fund. People don't have it. If you don't have one, then don't be out there spending that money. Okay, I'm sorry. That's just reality. There were a lot of people who went through that government shutdown, and you didn't hear nothing from them, because they were like, I'm good. I got my emergency fund. I'm just, going to keep paying my bills. And when we get back in, we'll go ahead and do what we got to do. But my point is this. You don't have an emergency fund. Don't go out there splurging. Okay, I know it sounds crazy. Well, I need to have my vacation every year. No, you don't. I'm going to be straight up with you. No, you don't. You don't need a vacation every year. You want to take some time off and just chill at home? Yeah. But if you ain't got no money, don't spend money you don't got, number one. All right. We tend to do that as people. We got a little bit of spare change. And let me go buy something. Let me go do something. Let me go do a little something. And then a month later, we broke again. And I'm telling you from experience. I've done it. I got friends that'll tell you I've done it. But that's just, we do that out of human nature, and it's not helping us. We stay long-term broke. Okay, you don't want to stay long-term broke in this economy and right now, because we don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know when you're going to lose a job. You don't know. See, you know, we talk about that rainy day fund, and rain comes in a whole lot of different ways. Okay, it comes in rain. It's government shutdown. Nobody saw that coming. A layoff, anything. Those are all rain. So you need that rainy day fund. So your next step, your first step, what you need to do is build your rainy day fund. How do you build your rainy day fund? Stop overspending. Put yourself on a budget. One of the biggest challenges for people is financial discipline. You know, the same people who, I can't get up and go to the gym, and I just don't have the discipline. Chances are those same people, a lot of those same people have problems with discipline in other aspects of their lives. So if you can't get up and go to the gym because you know that's going to make you healthy and let you live longer and see your great grandkids graduate from high school and college, how you going to have discipline about your money? You got to have discipline. You got to put yourself on a budget. You have to build your rainy day fund. You have to start putting some money away for those times when things are going to happen when you don't expect them. So the first part of the first topic on the bucket, on the junk drawer, was government shutdown. The next steps, again, for that particular one, the next step is to start building your rainy day fund. How do you do it? You put yourself on a budget. You look at your numbers and you don't go splurging. If you are somebody who goes to Starbucks every day, and y'all know who you are, you go out there every morning getting in line at Starbucks for 45 minutes to buy $8 coffee. If you don't buy that coffee just twice a week, as a Fed, I expect the government shut down every year. Pleasant surprise when it doesn't happen. Wow. God bless you, girl, because I couldn't do it. I mean, we can do a whole topic on government shutdown, just government employees. But anyway, what I'm saying is if you out there buying $8 coffee at Starbucks, instead of buying it every day, cut back 2 days a week and take that $16 and put it in a jar and start building your rainy day fund. Your rainy day fund should be, you know, they tell you it should be 6 months. It should be longer than 6 months. In this economy, in this society, you know, think about anybody out there who lost a job. Tell you how quick you go through 6 months. You go through 6 months in a heartbeat. Okay, so you need to build a rainy day fund that is as big and fat as you can make it. I'm not saying live like a monk, but live like a monk 0.5 or 1.2 monk. Okay, but you need to start putting your money away. Okay, don't put it. Okay, I won't say don't put it. You can put it in the bank, but understand this: at a 0.5% interest, you are basically giving the bank an interest-free loan. Okay, you'll get, and I'm sorry, banks it is what it is. You put your money in the savings or checking account, you're getting interest, but you are not getting much more interest than you would get in putting that money under your mattress. Okay, just think about that. You're giving that bank a ton of money. That same bank that will charge you if you don't give them enough to invest for free. My old thing is, my suggestion, if you want to put your rainy day fund, buy some stocks, invest, learn how to invest. We've done shows on it. I'll probably do more shows on it. Learn how to invest. It's not rocket science. You learn it once, you know it forever. Okay. So invest your money. Don't invest in crazy stuff. Now, me personally, I just invested in some weed stocks, and I ain't gonna lie, it's been the bomb. I'm not saying I smoke it, but I invested in the company because I want returns. And hey, people smoking more weed, but that's a whole another topic for another time. But anyway, build your rainy day fund. That's the first thing on the junk drawer, the government shutdown. Number 2, we got 4 topics today. Topic number 2 today is the tax refund. For those of y'all that getting it, here's what happens. They did some changes to the tax code last year. Some people made out, some people didn't. I ain't gonna judge because it's a jacked up mess. But anyway, if you got a tax refund this year, it's unexpected money. Let's be honest. It's really unexpected money. So don't go and do crazy stuff if, again, you don't have that rainy day fund set up. If you don't have your rainy day fund set up, boom, the government just gave it to you. Even if it's only $800, $900, whatever, start your rainy day fund with that money. Another option, pay your bills ahead. Man, everybody, or a lot of us are living paycheck to paycheck. That's just the reality. You got that one check you get, and you pay these bills with it. And then you got that other check you get, and you pay them bills with it. And a lot of times you got a situation where one check, you end up with 38 cents left. And then the other check, you end up with maybe a couple $100 because of when your bills are due. You're just like jacked up for 2 weeks until you get that next paycheck. And then you can breathe again. And then you go through that same cycle every month where you're going from broke to cool, broke to cool. How do you change that cycle? See, the problem is we have things that are due on certain days. You may have a car note that's due on a certain day. You got a mortgage or rent due on a certain day. You got some other, some other recurring, you subscribe to whatever magazine you just subscribe to. You got your Star Trek ships, which I ain't gonna lie, that come every month. And they come on the same time every month. And what happens is it hits in the worst time. Or maybe your gym membership, it comes at the same time. Or your home insurance, your home warranty kind of thing. It comes at the same time every month and it jacks you up because of when it comes. And maybe it's like if I instead of having to pay this bill on the 12th, if I could pay this bill on the 17th with the check I get on the 15th, I would be good. But every month you end up in that same jacked up cycle of broke, okay, broke, okay, broke, okay. And sometimes that broke time, you end up something unexpected comes up that might only cost you $2, but it's like $2 you didn't have. And all of a sudden you're paying a late fee or whatever. You overdrawn or something. How do you get that? Here's the thing. Here's a suggestion. When you get your tax refund, look at the bills, those bills that are due every month, the same amount. Your car note every month is the same amount. Pay next month's. Pay next month's car note. Okay. Reason being, now the next month you're already paid. You can pay it when you want. Okay. Because you're not paying that month. You're paying the next month. So say if your car note is due on the 12th every year and you get paid on every month and you get paid on the 15th every month. Okay. But you're for that 3 days, you juggling stuff. If you get your tax refund, make it work for you. Pay an extra car note. Why? Because then the next month, nothing's due on the 12th because you already paid it the last month. You can pay the next month after that with what you get on the 15th. So you can pay your car note on the 15th. But here again, it comes to discipline. You have to be disciplined. Even though you know your car month is paid, you got to pay for that month. You got to pay it like it isn't paid. So you're setting yourself up good for the next month. Okay, so then on the next month, when the 12th comes, well, your car note due is 0. Boom, on the 15th, you drop it on them. So then the next month, your payment comes in, your car note due is 0. But you've shifted when your bills come in or when your bills are due. You shifted it from the 12th when it's hard to the 15th when it's easier. Okay, and all that cost you was one payment. So you've shifted your time. Okay, it'll make it easier for you. Okay, try to do that if you have that tax return. Also, just get caught up. If you got bills that are behind, pay those first. Get caught up first. But if you can get ahead a month on some of those bills, like your car insurance, your car payment, if you can pay them just 1 month ahead, so then the next month you can pay it when you want. They don't care because you didn't pay for this month, so I'm paying for next month's now. Okay, so that's a tip. Pay it forward, as I would call it, so that you can pay on you can put it in your budget when it's convenient for you, not when it's convenient for other people. Okay, the next one, that was number 2. The next topic on the junk drawer is living up to your take-home pay. Now, how many people think about when you've been working 10 or 15 years, okay, and you think about the money you're making now, and you think about the money you made when you first started working. I think about that sometimes, and I'm like, how did I live on that money? And then what happened is over time you were getting increases. You got your raises over the years, and what did you do? You started spending more. You raise, spend, raise, spend, raise, spend. Okay, you started doing that. Human nature. I got a little inspection. Oh, you know what? I want to, my car note, I finished paying my car off. My car was $280, but I have like an extra $100 a month. I'm going to go for a car note that's $340, $350 now because I can, put myself a little something better. But what we do is we end up paying We increase our spending to match our payment. That's a problem when you increase your spending to match what you're making. And over time, you keep doing this. So you find yourself one day, you're like, why am I always broke? I keep getting raises every year, but I'm broke all the time. It goes back to what I said up front, is that financial discipline. You put yourself on a budget, okay? You put yourself on that budget, and as you get raises, or if you start bringing in more money, you don't change your budget. That extra money, if you were behind on things, you get caught up. But then you make sure you put into your budget additional savings or to investment or to retirement. Make that a line item. Okay, keep your budget, your spending here as your income rises. You keep your income here instead of doing this. I mean, human nature, I'm making more money, I want to spend more, I want to look good or whatever. But I'll be honest, in this environment, in this economy, I feel like, just me personally, you have to be very careful, because we never know what's going to happen tomorrow. People that say, this company I work for, they've never done layoffs. Boom, layoffs. Okay. And all of a sudden you get people, again, remember what I said up front, people in the government shutdown, bless their heart, Fed workers, we love you. But people were losing their check for a month. And I know some of these people are low paid workers, but some of these people have been working for the government for 20 years. All right, and they couldn't go a month without a check. And that's not an indictment of them. That's just saying that was the reality of people that have been collecting a check every year for 25 or 30 years. They've been going on vacation every year. We ain't gonna get on that. That's going back. We got to keep moving forward. Got to keep moving forward. So, living up to your home pay. How do you do it? You got to create a budget. If you don't know how to create a budget, it's real simple. You get a piece of paper or a spreadsheet, whatever you're more comfortable with. Put a line down the middle. On one side, you put your income. On the other side, you put your expenses. And you got to put all your expenses. You got to put everything, not just the rent and the car note and insurance. What are you spending on groceries? What are you spending on your utilities? What are you spending at Starbucks every morning? What are you spending for lunch? If you go out for lunch every day. I know people that go out to lunch every day. Bless their heart. I ain't the one. But I know people that do that. How much are you spending? Okay. Some banks will look at your bank statement from the last month. Remember those things? Look at your bank statement, and it'll break out what you spent, and look at what you spent and itemize it. Start putting it into categories. Here is my miscellaneous spending. Here's my clothing allowance. Here's my clothing spend, not necessarily allowance, but my spend. Put the money you spend, your gas. People forget about how much they get. Well, I got to get to work. Yeah, but just put down what it is. I'm not saying you're going to cut back on your gas, but you got to know where it is. Before you can change your spending habits, you have to understand your spending habits. You have to be honest about where you are. And if you are spending $6 a day times 5 days a week, plus tax at Starbucks, you're talking $30 a week on some coffee. You're talking $120 a month on coffee. Okay. And I know they got that real good coffee that the monkeys poop out their butt and then you make it supposed to be good. But my point is this, $120 for a coffee. Okay. Oh, and you get a bagel or English muffin or something with it. Now you're talking $120, $150 maybe a month on breakfast when you can make it at home. You're talking going to lunch every day. Okay, there's some people, hey, I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying understand what you're doing. Understand that this is the money I'm spending. Okay, create a budget. Put all your income on one side, your expenses on the other side, and just itemize it, and then total up at the bottom. And the funniest thing is, when you do that, you realize why you're broke, when you actually add up what you're spending. That's the first time you really realize why you are broke. Okay. But then as your income, if you get an annual raise, great, but don't change your spending. Okay. Keep your spending as your goal should be to lower your spending. Your goal should be to pay off your car. Your goal should be those things. If you got credit card payments, your goal should be to pay them off, to lower your spending every month. That should be your goal, not to spend up to what you make. We all do it. We all do it. But the hardest thing, I keep repeating that message about discipline. The hardest thing is financial, spiritual, emotional Physical discipline. That is the hardest thing for us. If you think about a lot of the challenges we have as people, a lot of them go back to discipline. You know, you're going out with somebody who's crazy because you were not disciplined enough to go and wait for somebody who was right. Financially, you're broke. Why? Because a lot of times we don't have discipline. I'm not minimizing the people who are not making a lot of money, because here's the thing. When you don't make a lot of money, you got some discipline. You got some good discipline when you won't make a lot of money, because you have no choice but to be disciplined. Okay. So when you don't make a lot of money, you know, the people who are quote poor, they are very disciplined. Those people working 2 and 3 jobs to keep food on the table, they are very disciplined because they understand firsthand what happens when you don't have discipline. Okay, so the financial discipline, hey, see, talking about physical discipline, and my partner just showed up. But you got to have discipline. When you build your budget, you have to have the discipline to stick to your budget. Okay, you can't, and you got to write down everything. That was the hardest thing for people, is to be disciplined enough to record everything they're spending. If you have a bill that fluctuates every month, take a 3-month average. But your utilities, your cable, your phone, your cell phone, they don't fluctuate. Hey, see, but so the last tip about when you get your tax refund, pay it forward, pay those things forward. But you got to have financial discipline. It's nothing like getting to be your 60s or 70 years old and realizing that, you know what, if I'd have had some discipline, I'd be doing a lot better. You can't look back on it now. Okay, at that point. So have it now. Start early. If you have kids, when they get their first paycheck at 18 or 22 or whatever, teach them to be disciplined. You teach your children. And that's one thing we don't do as a people. We don't teach our children the lessons that we've learned. Okay, and we don't show them the mistakes that we made. If you made a mistake, you made a mistake. It is what it is. But be disciplined in your spending. Okay, everybody wants to go out for happy hour once a week. You don't got to go every week. You know, I mean, be disciplined. You need to put money away. And I'm sorry to be so well, but this is a money podcast. But that's the reality. We have to be saving our money. Okay, and number 4, we did on the junk drawer. The government shutdown, tax refunds. We talked about living up to your take-home pay. And number 4, make your credit work for you. Now, some of y'all have watched my other podcast with my friend Vicky Young. We talk about Assist to Be Going Places. And one of the underlying things we talk about, it's a travel podcast, but one of the underlying issues and topics that we touch on a lot, and it's a topic, it's about money. It's make your credit work for you. First of all, if your credit is jacked, and we all been there, some more than once. If your credit is jacked, you need to work on it. I know when you're trying to rob Peter and pay Paul, you're like, I ain't got time to worry about credit. Get your bills paid. But once you start getting them bills straight, you need to get your credit rating straight. Why? Credit is not important. Yes, it is. When you go to get a car, the interest rate you're going to pay is based on your credit. You don't think that's a big deal? If your car note is $280 a month because you got jacked credit, you might be able to get a car note of $200. $80 a month is nothing to sneeze at. You might have to pay $500 a month because your credit is jacked. Okay, get your credit straight, and it starts small. If you have a credit card, be disciplined. First of all, pay that sucker off, okay? The credit card companies, bless them, they provide a good service, but some of them bad boys be hitting you for 28 and 30% interest, okay? Again, credit cards are something else. I didn't learn about how credit cards work in school in my master's program. No, I learned about that because me and a nerd buddy of mine, rest his soul, my boy Al, we reverse engineered. We were numbers geeks. We were both accounting majors. We were numbers geeks, and we reverse engineered the calculation that they use on your credit cards. That's how we figured out how the credit cards work. It's real complex, but it's kind of simple too. But my point is this: the higher your interest rate on your credit card, the more you are borrowing money from them, and they are just slamming you with interest. Just like the title pawn, the payday loans, a lot of those, man, they are getting, because they say, well, the loan is only for 2 weeks. Yeah, but you do that on an annual basis, and that interest rates are crazy. Get your credit straight. Okay, now how do you get your credit straight? First of all, if you have some delinquencies on your credit report, you can get a free credit bureau report once a year. If you got you got a credit card problem, we all have had credit card debt. Well, not all of us, some of us. I had mine. I ain't gonna lie. If it's killing you, call a credit card company and talk to them. Say, hey, look, I had a credit card. This is jacked up. They were taking automatic payments out of my account every month, so they were getting their money. And every time they took a payment, they would lower my spending limit. So at the same time that they were getting paid, I couldn't use the card because they would take a payment and lower the limit, take a payment, lower. So I was like jammed up. I worked on that one. But when you have good credit, here's the thing. Here's what rich people do with their credit. Rich people, when you see people going on vacations, and I know people personally who've done this, they get them credit cards that have those nice miles associated with it, and they buy the things that they would normally buy. They don't go out and just go be buying willy-nilly. They buy the stuff that they would only buy anyway. And they buy those things on their credit cards, and then the next month they pay it off, but they get miles for it. And they accumulate and accumulate and accumulate. And then I know somebody going to Spain, and they're spending, I think their round trip tickets to Spain from the United States is like $70 because they're using the miles on their credit card. Okay, that's the reality. That's how people do it. It's not about spending more money. It's about looking at how you're spending and spending your money in a certain way that it works for you. That's the goal, is to spend your money in a way. If you want it, credit is a great thing if you know how to use it. All right, credit is a great thing if you know how to use it. And nobody teaches us. I'm sorry. A lot of university schools will have. They will give you a credit card with the school logo on it. You're like, yeah, I went there, and I got a school card with the logo on it. I'm looking good because I got my Notre Dame card, and they never showed you how to use it. And believe me, Notre Dame's getting a kickback every time you break their card out. So learn about your credit. It is not hard. Here's the thing, y'all. When I was in school, and all my contemporaries out there, we didn't have the internet. We had the Newburgh Public Library. All right, you had to go down there and look. We had card catalogs. You had to go. You had to work. A research paper. That's why they called it a research paper, because you spent most of your time researching stuff. All right, you had to go up in that card catalog and flip through. You had the microfiche. Oh man, we had all that stuff. Now you can on my phone. I can learn how credit cards work. But you got to take the time to do it, people. You got to take the time to do it. And remember this, like I said, you learn it once, you know it forever. So take the time to learn how credit cards really work. I'm not saying the calculation. I'm saying learn how to improve your credit rating. Okay, that's that financial discipline. You improve that credit rating by paying your bills on time. Okay, by not being delinquent on this and that, and by not going out on Black Friday to tie all this back together and just blowing a bunch of money at Walmart after you done beat somebody down to get through the door. That's how you improve your credit, by buying the things you need, but more importantly, paying off your bills. Okay, American Express card. I remember when I was younger, I was like, I ain't getting no American Express card. I'd pay it every month. Well, shoot, if I could do that, I'd do it in cash. And what I'm going to pay $195 a year just to have a piece of plastic in my pocket. And then I started reading about some of those benefits of that $195 piece of plastic in my pocket. And it was like, that's kind of fly. That's worth $195 right there. Oh, and I get that too? Oh, and that's we didn't talk about it, but I talked about it before. The bonus is use coupons, people. Use coupons. Okay, and I'm not exaggerating, I spent 5 minutes this week, cutting on coupons. 5 minutes. I went to the grocery store this morning. I spent $33 and I saved $56, and I am not lying. Financial discipline, shopping discipline. I went in and I knew what I had to buy. I knew the things I was buying. I bought just those things because I had coupons for them. I spent $33, I saved $56, all right? That's the reality of it. Hey, Jim, my old college roommate, how you doing? So anyway, that was the junk drawer episode. The 4 things we covered was a government shutdown, tax refund, living up to your take-home pay, and making your credit work for you. Everybody, I thank you for tuning in as always. I'll be doing one of these soon again. Like I told you before, I won't want to do them if I ain't got nothing to say. Okay? But I appreciate everybody who's been sticking in there with me. This show is available on Facebook Live, obviously, but it's also available on iTunes and Spotify, okay, and Blog Talk Radio. Can't forget them as well. So if you got a money question, I may not be able to answer it, but feel free to hit me up on Facebook Live or Facebook, Tyrone Griffin. With that, I'm going to end this show. I thank everybody for your time and for tuning in. You have a blessed day, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.